Hey guys, Kuzma here, back with another video, and in this video today we're going to be doing another installment of my redesign series. This one today we're going to be redesigning Deku into a fantasy samurai. So when I was initially thinking of some more redesigns for my redesign series, a samurai Deku came to mind, and it was kind of left field. I didn't know what to think about it. I was like, should I do this? Should I not? I thought to myself, I was like, I want to do it, so why not do it? So I went ahead and did it. What first kind of made me think of doing this kind of fantasy setting is at the end of one of the seasons, I can't remember which one, but the ending credits basically showed all of the My Hero Academia characters in some sort of different fantasy setting, somewhat medieval, dragons, and everyone knows the picture of Bakugo, and it has everyone in a different outfit. And I thought that was really cool, and the creator had originally drawn that whole scene out, and I believe that's where they got the idea for that ending. They actually took the reference from his illustration of all the fantasy characters and made that into end credits. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah, in any case, how are people liking the new season of My Hero Academia, if you're keeping up to date with it? I haven't watched the newest episode. I'm, all caught up from there, but I'm probably going to be watching the new episode sometime today, the day I actually upload this video. And I've already read the manga past this point. I think I mentioned this in one of my other videos. I read the manga past this point, so I already know what's going to happen, and definitely looking forward to seeing it animated, that's for sure. And one thing you guys may notice is Bakugo and Todoroki are hardly in this season. They're going to be hardly in this season because they're doing something. They have to finish something up based on the last season. But I find it kind of interesting that they're gone. I don't know if that was a strategic idea from the writer or if it's just something he had to do in the series because of what happened last season. But I was thinking about it more and more, and it's kind of like, Todoroki and Bakugo are two of some of the most overpowered characters in the main cast. And I feel like if they're put up against a foe, it's one of those things where the fans are just like, why didn't you just have the character do this? Because they totally could have done that against this villain. And I kind of see something where the creator probably has to choose the people that they fight in the series very strategically because, if they're fighting the wrong opponent, they're just going to completely overpower them, and people will be looking at him as a creator like they could have totally done this and this and this. So he has to match them up right with the right opponent, I feel like. Because if not, they have such overpowered abilities, the story will seem a little flat or fake, or put into a specific kind of box to make it seem like the fight's harder than it is for these characters that are just completely OP. But I don't know if that's a thing that he has to do, but it's kind of fun to think about from the writer's perspective. But enough of that for now. Let's talk a little bit about the design. I already designed a lot of what's going on here with Deku. But pretty much I just wanted him to be able to be holding a sword like the traditional samurai stance, and him holding a cool sword with a decent design. I didn't want to go overboard with it or anything. And then him having a somewhat traditional samurai outfit on, but also not completely traditional. So we'll have a little bit of original flair to it and just some design quirks on it. No, not quirks like quirks from My Hero Academia. So other than his face and hair that are showing, I wanted to add in something else that showed that it was Deku based on, his costume from My Hero Academia. So I added in that faceplate at the bottom and wanted to make it a little bit more retro, a little older, like as if it was just like the steel plating from a past century or something. So the plating isn't quite as clean. And with that little mouthguard piece, I wanted to make them into more so plates that are hooked together instead of all one piece of metal, just with groove designs in it, because that's how his original design has it. They're more like one big plate with groove designs in it, so I try to make them separate and they'll be connected by little metal pieces in between, somewhat similar to what's going on with those armor pieces down on the sides of his legs that a lot of samurai have on. Yeah, just a little update on me reading the manga for My Hero Academia, because I told you guys that I was going to be doing that in the last video. I have been actually reading it. I'm not all the way caught up yet. I've been taking some time on it, but I'm on chapter 174 right now, and I know I'm like totally far behind compared to what's going on now in the manga, but it's been a really fun read, and it's gotten a little slow because the part I'm at is not as interesting in this part, but I'm going to make sure to push through until it gets a little bit more interesting again. Yeah, so I have a lot to look forward to, and I'm having fun reading it again. Now, I need to make sure to continue to read it and read it a little faster, because the next series I want to catch up on is Black Clover, because I've just heard so many good things about it, and I liked it to begin with when I read the first few chapters. I can't remember how many chapters I read of that, but I read far enough that I really liked it. And just like with My Hero Academia, it was around a time that I just, did not have the time to read manga, or didn't find the time to go ahead and read manga. And that's the thing. A lot of us have the time to do stuff. We just say we don't have the time. We just have to make the time. Because I'm sure all of us have at least 30 minutes a day, at very least 30 minutes a day to do something, but we decide to do something else with that time. So it depends on what we're doing with that time when we say, well, we don't have any time for it. So I need to stop making excuses. And that also relates to art. When people say, I don't have any time to do this, and this, I guarantee there's other stuff that you do instead of that drawing that is an optional thing, like watching TV shows, watching a lot of TV shows, playing a lot of video games, your other free time stuff that if you really wanted to draw, you could find time to do it. Trust me, I know it can be really hard with having very little time in a day if you're someone who is very, very busy, especially if you have a full-time job or something. And there's a series I kind of want to start where maybe once a week, every 2 weeks or something, I kind of tell a little story about, my upcoming and everything like that, and kind of some of the problems I faced. Just telling little stories about that while drawing and stuff. So I might do something like that if you guys are interested, and thought that would be fun. As my life's had a whole lot of ups and downs throughout the process, and hearing those stories might give other people some inspiration and stuff like that. And but at the end of the day, what I learned is really everything that goes on in your life, you have a big hand in that, and you can craft your own future with your own two hands. As I remember when I was learning how to draw more, of course I'm still learning how to draw now every day, but when I was a lot more remedial at drawing, I imagined being able to draw how I draw now, and I used to really look up to people who drew how I draw now. And now that I draw the way I draw now, the only thing that's stopping me from doing what I want is me. I was never the fastest learner when it came to drawing, so I put years of work just to get at this level. And that's why I don't really agree with people saying, well, it's hard for me, it's not very natural for me. Trust me. Trust me. I know that feeling. Enough of that inspirational stuff. Just remember, you can do it, and it's really all in your hands. You have to put in the effort, put in the research, and really try your hardest. But yeah, on that note, let's move back to the illustration. I don't know if you guys like that whole little speech, but whatever. Anyways, so I'm pretty much in the blackout stages and cleanup stages of this, and my sketches have gone through many different stages throughout this channel, where they're either really rough, cleaner, more refined, and I kind of found a sweet spot that I like where it's still quite sketchy, but not too sketchy. And from this angle and this distance, it looks like it's pretty clean, but it's really not that clean. And I kind of like where I am now with my sketches, but I don't feel like it has to be super clean either. Yeah, either way, if it's super clean or a little bit looser, I'm not really going to box myself in, but I want to be able to do both. I want to be able to make it really clean if I have to, and be able to loosen up if I need to. Because I don't really see any downside in being a really clean artist, other than if you being a clean artist takes up too much time. That could really be a big downside to it, because speed is almost everything in the art industry. But if you're actually clean and a really fast artist, that's really good. But when it comes to a little bit looser line work, that is where it gets into something where you should know how to do cleaner line work just in case. Because there's definitely something to say about being an artist that might be too sloppy with their illustrations. So you want to make sure you definitely have a good best of both worlds. Yeah, back to the design now anyways. I did a little design in his belt. You guys probably saw me kind of mess around with it and try to do something else. On one side, I tried to have it kind of break into some cherry blossoms. Didn't really like how it looked, so I ended up erasing that and redoing it into just being one cohesive pattern. And it's just a random boxy pattern that I thought would be fun to put on it. And with this leg armor, I could have gave it the same texture and pattern of the shoulder plates that I gave him, but I didn't really want to do that on those because the illustration was already getting pretty dark, and that whole part would have just gotten a little too dark for me, so I kind of went without it and just made it look like something more like plaster, something heavier and harder. This way, I killed two birds with one stone, and didn't have to do a huge blackout area, and I decided to put the blackouts on the outer edge to kind of block in those armor pieces. And with the whole blackout on this illustration, I didn't want to make it too dark because I wanted it to feel like there was dark portions and then the majority of it was light, so I wanted a good balance of it. So I left the whole mostly fabric portions just white, even though if it was colored it would probably be a different color than that, but I left most of those white, and just if you look around there's kind of patches of black where it comes to the handle, his arm guards, his kind of gloves, and then his pants. So it kind of goes around, and then his shoulders have some darker spots to it. So we have the shoulders left, right, darker, and then his arms left, right, darker, and then the bottom is a triangle portion that's kind of cut out for his pants, which is his pants are darker, and then we have kind of this dark sword going across the screen. So I was already satisfied with the contrast of everything, so I didn't want to go any further than where I was at on that. Oh yeah, in any case, if you guys like my arts and want to help support what I do on this channel, you guys can check me out on my Patreon, link in the description. Take this time to thank my current patrons. You guys are the best, the awesomest, and I'd like to give special thanks to my Chunin and Jonin tier Patreons. All of my Patreons, you guys are awesome, and you guys help me be able to do what I do on this channel. And thank you to everyone who's actually made it this far in the video. You guys are awesome, and I hope you guys liked the illustration. I had a whole lot of fun drawing this one, actually. I kind of just let loose and just went with the flow. Yeah, in any case, if you guys like this video, please hit that thumbs up button, and if you're new to the channel like you see, please subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified when each video comes out. And like always guys, hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.